Hello and welcome to Getting Candid with me, your girl Helen. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so that you don't miss out on anything that we upload on this channel. Now, today my guest, I'm excited, is my former workmate. He's a friend, still a friend, and very talented. Very interesting story to tell, and I'm sure you guys will be interested and you'll be able to learn one or two things from him. I'm talking about Manchishi, ZNBC producer and presenter. Let's get chatting with him on the other side.
Take a walk through life, just play the game, make the chase like your flame. Take your chance, fight for success if you really want to be the best. My life, my rules, my choice, my stick, my bet, my win. My life, my rules, my choice, my stick, my bet, my win. My life, my rule, my choice, my stake, my bet, my win.
Melbet, something you can bet on.
Welcome back. I mentioned that I'll be chatting with the talented and intelligent and smart Manchishi.
Come on.
Hi.
I'm actually very excited to be on one of the biggest shows in the country in terms of YouTube and Facebook. Give me that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited that you made it.
Wow.
Because you guys are busy, so I was even thinking, is he going to make it? But I'm glad that you're here and we're able to chat.
I was excited when you gave me a call and would you come? I was like, okay, I will have to. Why
yes,
not?
That's good. So Samuel, a lot of people like you. They like how you cast the news. They like how you do your presentations. But obviously there's a journey and there's a story behind Manchishi. I'd like to know firstly how your upbringing was.
I'm excited that there are some people that enjoy my casting and my presentations.
Yeah.
And coming from you, I'll believe it.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah, a few of them have reached up to me and they've told me personally.
Yeah.
My upbringing was from the village, from Lusaka to the village, back into Lusaka.
Which village?
A village called Mponge village in Central Province, very rural area, I should make mention, in Kabwe, deep in the rural areas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I did my primary school from grade 1 to grade 7. And then into grade 8, I was staying with my grandparents. My mother, when my mother died, I was taken by my grandparents to go and live with them there, myself and my sister. Yeah, so after grade 7, that's when I was brought back here so that my father could take up the sponsorship thing into, so I was at Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe School, then went to St. Stephen's Secondary School in Matero, where I did my grade 10 to 12. And unfortunately, when I was wrapping up my grade 12, my father died. Yeah, so I became a double orphan, having grown up without a mother. Yeah, so when my father died, I don't want to blame my relatives, brothers or sisters of my uncle. Probably they had other issues to take care of. Yeah, I pretty much remained alone.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I was completing grade 12, I had a lot of bills to pay in terms of fees, which my father couldn't pay then. Yeah, so I started doing some pieceworks to pay and get the results.
Oh.
Yeah, after when I worked as a darker boy.
What's a darker boy?
Those people that make mortar when doing construction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my first job actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that. There was a little bit of some gardening that I used to do. Yeah, and then I was taken into some industry, one of the biggest fast-moving consumer goods, as they say, in the country. Yeah, took me up. I was working in the industry.
The Trade Kings?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but even before that, when I was in grade 11, grade 9, I would say, I became a little talkative and people thought, wow, this guy could make a good broadcaster or a journalist.
Okay.
When I switched into St. Stephen's, we founded a club called the Press Club.
Yeah.
Then I was enrolled into the debate club, so I became very versatile actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was president of the club, of debate club, and president of the press club.
So in all that, whatever was happening in your life, you're able to get your results and your dreams were never crushed to be a broadcaster. You just knew one day
I will be. And it all started when my friends at St. Stephen's said there was a club at ZNBC called the Radio 4 Fan Club. Yeah, so they took me there just to go and see if I could fit in.
Yeah.
So I went there once and then I fitted in very well. And since then, when I was still in grade 12, I kept going to ZNBC, attending the Radio 4 Fan Club, where it was a club about, broadcasting.
Yeah.
We could meet these big broadcasters at ZNBC already. And then we had a program called Calling Our Members, which used to run on Radio 4 every Tuesday at 21 hours. So when we come to the Radio 4 fan club, they identify you had some talent.
Yeah.
You could go on radio. So we had a 1-hour program which had 4 segments and 4 presenters on each segment. So it was very competitive. For you to be on one segment, you had to be very tough.
Okay.
So grade 12, my father was still alive. When he told me, what do you want to be? I told him I would like to be a journalist. It wasn't for the idea because he was a sheet metal fabricator.
Okay.
Those people that into
Yeah.
engineering here and there. Yeah, so when he died, the idea was already nurtured from the Radio 4 fan club. So I could walk from Chipata compound to ZNBC. Yeah, so like I said, when my father died, nobody took up my nurturing me up.
Yeah.
So I had to start paying rent, buying food for myself. It was crazy.
How tough or easy was it to do that?
It was very tough.
Yeah.
I can give you an example. When I started working in the construction industry, we were getting 6 kwacha 13 ngwe per week.
Not per day, but per week.
Per week. Now, translate that into our translating it into the current kwacha, it's 6 kwacha 13 ngwe. By then it was 6,030 kwacha. Yeah, so that's what I used to get. And then I used to pay rentals 80 kwacha per month. Now imagine you have to save up 6 kwacha, then you have to have food from the first day of the month to the next. It wasn't easy, but I survived.
That's good. That's a story that is very encouraging because there are people that are seeing you today and they don't understand your story. It just shows to say don't give up on your dreams and make sure that you get through them. So, but when I knew you, you were on radio. You were on radio, DJ Great. You are still not fully employed by then, but your hard work was amazing. Do you miss radio though?
I miss it on a daily basis.
And just to mention, guys, the first time I was ever on radio, he put me on his show.
What was the show called again?
Divas Avenue.
The Divas Avenue.
Yes, I enjoyed those times.
Okay.
Yeah, do you miss radio?
I do miss radio. Radio is spontaneous and it's so interactive as opposed to TV.
Yeah.
Because on television, somebody has to punch in a caller for you.
Yeah.
And the producer has to tell you, for example, ask this question.
Yeah.
But when you're on radio, you are doing everything on your own.
Yeah.
You can open up the phone line, talk to the caller yourself, and it's just so amazing. And it doesn't give you the hassle of looking into your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
not too good at
please.
selecting clothes. So I used to be...
But you look good.
Thank you.
Do you have somebody who is dressing you up? Or?
No, unfortunately, I have to do that myself.
But you look good.
Thank you. Yeah.
I know, when you say I'm not very good at selecting, I'm sure you've been reading people's posts on social media, but have those helped you, or at some point they made you feel like, this is now demoralizing?
I tell you, there's a slogan that I chat with my friends at work.
Yeah.
I tell them, malinganchito yaenda. As in, as long as work goes on. For me, dressing doesn't matter when I'm going on TV.
Yeah.
Except, yes, for television, it's both the looks, the talent, and the dress code.
Yes.
But for me, the dress code doesn't matter. What's the dress code for if you don't have the ability to do the job?
The dress code is to attract the viewer to watch you.
They can watch you, but if you're not able to deliver, what is it for?
So you need everything. Should be a
You
social
need
package.
everything, but the dressing for Zambians, it matters. But look at our friends internationally.
Yeah.
Look at the BBC, the CNN.
Yeah.
You see some guys don't really care about dress code, but
Yeah.
look at their ability to deliver.
Yeah.
For me, that matters most.
Yeah, that's very important. Okay, you know what? We still have a lot of things to chat about. We'll just take a quick break then. This break, we're going straight into our next big thing. Alrighty, so today our next big thing is slightly different. Mostly we've just been having musicians. Yeah, we've only had musicians so far on this segment. But I'm having an energy expert today. Young man, goes by the name of Boniface Zulu, and he's here to talk about the energy sector, how Zambia can improve its energy sector and do it more with solar. I'm not an expert in that. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm going to learn from Boniface. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. And how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you because you are totally different from what we've always had on this segment.
Yeah, we can't be the same, but
Yeah.
if the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm also an artist, so
Yeah.
we are sinking in.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you talk about, you were telling me about how you feel Zambia can move from using hydropower all the time.
Yeah.
and moving to solar?
Yeah. So over-dependence on hydropower has actually crippled the Zambian economy. It can never develop as long as we are going to just over-depend on hydro. Today we are producing about 2,800 megawatts, and this is only given to 31% of our general population, which is quite small. When you look at countries that are neighboring us, like even South Africa, obviously South Africa, it's giving the power to 98% of its population. But that's also including load shedding and everything. They have their own problems, but they are offering electricity to almost 100% of their population. Now, when you look at Zambia, only giving that energy to 31% of our population. Now, that energy is only reliant on hydro. So now, I talk of a combination of hydro, solar, wind, tidal, as well as thermal energy, so that we can increase or enhance on production of electricity to even full capacity, where we can even run electric EVs, vehicles, as well as electric trains. Now, this will change the economy and will be a faster economy, and this will allow us to grow our cities in sky-rising buildings. The reason why we can never grow our cities to sky-rising buildings is because these buildings rely on electricity. So you can't build a sky-rising building which will require a lift, of course, which will require electricity, require so much electricity when it comes to lighting system and everything, while it's just depending on hydro. We cannot do that. So Zambia has been crippled. It needs to grow. For the fact that we are on the central strategic point in Africa, Congo, Angola, Malawi, we've got Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe that surround us. These people can actually develop using us at the end of the day. So I talk about us using another form of energy source or an alternative that we can use by producing solar panels because they are cheaper. Why do I say they are cheaper? Let's produce them. If we produce them, it's easier for us to grow our economy because every Jim and Jack will have electricity in their homes, meaning our population will produce goods, will also will also give services and consume those services and goods and make money. I'm not saying this from a layman's perspective. I'm saying this because I've been exposed and I'm educated.
What did you study? Just tell us about your...
Now, I'm a new energy science and technology engineer. In Zambia, we're only seven, period, boom. Southern SADC Africa, 7, boom. When you look at Eastern Africa and Western Africa, they've got so many of these guys. And some of them are making electric vehicles, electric farms. They are producing electricity from waves under rivers in Rwanda right now. The people that did that were our seniors at our school. So they're producing from the waves from the Zambezi River under, not the top water, under. We can produce electricity just like a windmill. So we are very diverse. So a new energy engineer is a person that is diverse. We produce clean, reliable energy from clean, reliable sources such as solar, wind, tidal, as well as hydro. Just omitting one thing, which of course people feel this is renewable, but which is nuclear energy, because it poses a high risk. It has got high collateral damage in case of a force majeure, such as an earthquake, a flooding, anything that can happen to the reactor. Can expose us to radioactivity material. Then the radioactivity material that is in the nuclear reactor is very hard to dispose of or get rid of because of the fact that it's expensive to do that. Then you also run water to cool down these systems. This water comes from a river, then it goes into the nuclear reactor, then it goes back into the river, therefore killing microlife that lives in the water. So you're killing the ecosystem. So the new energy engineer tries to clean the ecosystem and tries to keep it at a low, try to keep our carbon footprint at 0. Why are we doing this? We need to give or pass on this earth to the coming generation the way we found it, and even better at the end of the day, pass on the torch of legacy. So
okay,
that's the thing.
Quickly, you talked about you guys can produce these things, can make solar. Have you ever made it?
Yes.
Why should somebody believe you?
Yes, we did. In my course that I studied, for you to qualify as a new energy engineer, you have to have made a solar panel. you have to know the ingredients. So solar panels are made from silicas. Silicas is found in soil or silica sand. Now, silicon is the second most abundant element on Earth apart from oxygen. It has a high affinity to oxygen, so it does not decompose fast. So it's 27.88% of the Earth's crust. So once you heat that silicon, you heat it to 2000 degrees, allow or regulate the temperature and keep on removing the chaff on top. You have a silicon chaff, which is just going to be a silica's wafer. You cut it in small pieces, dope one end with bromine, the other end with phosphorus, combine them with aluminium on the middle, combine them together, allow the light, the photons or light to hit the solar panel, displace the electrons, which are negatively charged because they need to move. They'll be moving inside there. I wish I could have more time to explain and even write down, even give you more explanation on that. Then you have electricity. Put one end this side with the positive and the other end with the negative. You have electricity running through your homes. So,
okay, so what's stopping you from making that now?
Now, Zambia right now, I've tried to advocate this even to internationally, even here in Zambia. I've gone to different firms, including the Zambian government, but mostly they tell me, young man, your ideas are very brilliant, but then we do not have the funds to fund this. So now, what I'm advocating for is let's come together as a country. What I saw in China is we can even contribute money. To bring up this idea so that it can come to life. If the Chinese can do it, how about us? What's good for the goose is good for the geese. We're not down. So I've got a brain.
Okay, so what's next for you? Are you just going to continue advocating until it happens?
Right now, I run a company called Zululand Energy alongside Vangatech. This company is aimed to produce, but right now we're installing. So I cannot just sit down on the ideas and never try to accumulate this information or display the information to the people. Let me show them what we do. We've already done that. We've been on different platforms, ZNBC, Smooth Talk, you name it, even newspapers. Newspapers have written, and nobody can tell me, not even the president hasn't heard about me. They've all heard about me. I'm the youngest new energy expert Zambia ever had and has ever had. So what do you expect? If I'm telling you this, I'm telling you as an expert. I'm telling you that if we do this, we can build this nation. Let's light up Zambia and let's light up Africa.
Thank you so much for coming through.
All right,
and I wish you all the best. I just hope somebody can hear you and you get the support that you need.
All right, thank you so much.
Alrighty guys, so that was our next big thing. I hope you've learned something. And what do you think? Should he be supported with his idea? I think it's a great idea. But what's your opinion? Let us know in the comment box. Bye-bye. Welcome back. I'm still chatting with Samuel Manchishi. We're talking about your career and we went straight into your dressing. But firstly, quickly, I just want you to talk about how you finally got employed at ZNBC.
It was a long 9 years waiting.
Yeah.
But not to say that it was a long time for me, because there are certain things that you need to meet to get employed, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a total of 9 years from school when I started doing something for ZNBC. Then following the death of my father, monies were so hard to come by. And then I had to go and pay my school to get the results. Then again, when I started doing programs for ZNBC, the Radio 4 Fan Club was burnt. It stopped existing. But because I was given a program separate from the Radio 4 Fan Club on ZNBC Radio 2, that kept me, even if my friends stopped coming. So the manager then on Radio 2 told me, you have the talent, but we can't employ you because you don't have the qualification to be employed as a journalist. Then I said, where will I get the money to go and study journalism? It was tough. I continued doing programs on ZNBC and Radio 2, and they increased as years went by. They gave me other programs to do, which I enjoyed. But then again, I said, the boss says I should go to school. How do I do it? Lucky enough, the guys from the marketing department at ZNBC thought I had the ability. So one of them found a deal of a certain hardware, very famous in garden compounds, that wanted to advertise. So they were looking for a voice to do that on Radio 4.
Okay.
So this marketer said, I have somebody that can do it. So he gave me to market that hardware on Radio 4 15 minutes every week, and it ran for 2 months. So I was paid 100 kwacha per production. So every week it used to run twice. So I saved up that money for 2 months and enrolled at the University of Zambia Ridgeway campus, where you were my senior. I don't know if you were my junior.
I was your senior.
Yeah, so I saved up and took all that money to UNZA.
Yeah.
And I did a certificate in basic reporting.
Okay.
So that got me a job as, in June of 2012, I was picked at ZNBC Radio 2 as a part-time announcer.
Okay.
Then immediately I got that, I started doing a diploma again to advance. Yeah, so then in 2012, October 1, I was picked as a full-time employee of ZNBC, having worked voluntarily for 9 years.
That's a lot of patience, a lot of commitment, and I can attest, I saw you how committed you were, and you taught some of us some of the things that we know today, so thank you.
And I tell you what, the person that, during my struggles, I met 2 people who are not my relatives. One of them is Mr. Ebo Tembo in Chipata compound somewhere at Shokas, and Francis Ngenda Spalo, who you know very well,
I know him,
the love doctor.
Yeah.
So these 2 people are not my relatives, but I became so close to them. Mr. Ebo Tembo in Chipata compound took me in, and I could feed from his table time and again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he doesn't know of the other sad part of my life, and he has been learning of it during this time. Francis, on the other hand, is the one that got me from the ghetto when I got a job and moved me into Kabwata.
Yeah.
And the 2 have been really very, very, very helpful and encouraging me. At some point, Mr. Tembo told me, you know what, you have talent and ZNBC is not picking you on. Move out.
Yeah.
Go and join these other stations.
Yeah.
But inside of me, I believed, I think my home is here.
Yeah,
so
you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So now, let's career-wise, Samo, you were married, eh?
I was married 2015, September 5th. Yes, I got married.
And you have your daughter. How is she?
She's great.
Your best friend, literally. Yeah, but sadly your wife passed on. That what, 2018?
2018,
2018.
Yes.
Just tell us how that has, what happened and how that has changed your life with your daughter.
It was a sudden death. We had just stayed in marriage for about 2 years and some months. Yeah, I was at work, then went home, went to bath with my princess, and then suddenly she collapsed. Yeah, I had to take her to the hospital. 2 days she was normal.
Yeah.
It is something that I still talk about. When I think about it in the night, my sleep goes away. Yeah, so that changed my life a lot, because I had to now turn into a mommy and a daddy for the little girl. Yeah. Since 2018, my life has been attached to my daughter.
How is she?
She's doing fine, but time and again she gets to ask me. Sometimes I get to delete all the photos of me and her mother in my phone, because the moment she sees them, she says, I want my mother, or she says, when is she coming back? Yeah, and it's been terrible, especially when she falls ill. And thank God she has only been ill for a few times, countable times after the death of her mother. But I remember the first instance, after her death, I requested for my mother-in-law to stick around with me and the cousins that I stay with. So one time she fell ill when she was about 2 years. In the night, I remember waking up. You know, your mothers are very good at knowing whether she's not feeling well or not. Yeah. So I had to, in the night you are sleeping, you have to check the temperature. Yeah, so midnight the temperature was high. 01, I had to just wake up without telling anyone. Drove off to the hospital. I stayed in the hospital from 01. The doctor says you have to stick around for us to observe her. Until 05. I came back home with her. In the morning. Yeah, everyone in the house didn't know. So when we woke up, I was ready to go to school. After I checked the temperature was okay. When my mother-in-law woke up, I gave her the medicine. This is what the doctor said. She was shocked. What do you mean? I said, we were at the hospital. She's not well. Why didn't you wake us up? I said, no, I need to do this. So I've been doing that pretty much all this time until now. Yeah. I can safely say I can't get over it. I will not get over her death, but I'm managing it. Okay, that's good. So you stay with people that help you here and there. I have my cousins. Yeah. Yeah, and a very wonderful old lady that helps us out. Very reliable woman. She's really there for us. That's good. Samuel, I'm very glad that you came, and I've enjoyed chatting with you. And what's next in your career? What are the things that we should be looking forward to? look out for a much bigger and better presenter. That's what I want to focus on. I've been going into school. I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree in mass communications and
nice.
public relations.
Nice.
Yeah. After that, I'm not seeing myself going back to school soon, but I want to put my energy into rebranding and make myself a better presenter, I think. And if I have to come up with a much bigger, better program, look out.
Any plans of joining politics?
No way. That's the last thing ever
Yeah?
on my mind.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through.
I'm grateful.
Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been chatting with Samuel Manchishi. I hope you've learned a very inspiring story that he was sharing right here, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it and learned one or two things. Keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.